GM guys, the hidden dangers of using this tool, software that nobody's talking about. I fucking forgot what the exact title here is, but you guys can probably tell, and it is ChatGPT. And you guys are probably wondering why ChatGPT? I use this for my work, my homework, my essays. I let it study for me, whatever the fuck. Well, that's great and all, but I want to tell you guys something that I've recently realized about ChatGPT ever since buying the Plus version. I've been using it a lot for my own work and for my own circumstances. I use it to do analysis, write code. I also use it to do like helping write emails. Like I don't send out the AI version first. I refine it myself, which is how you should do it. A lot of these people, these boomers, are using it just to send out a version of themselves because they're so fucking lazy. No, that's not how you're supposed to use it. But I also use it for reflection, journaling. So I use it for a lot of things. And what I'm trying to say here is that I've noticed a very big trend in AI that is honestly really fucked up in ChatGPT. So what I'm going to touch on here is that AI, the biggest issue, the biggest danger here is 4.0, GPT 4.0. And I believe a few months ago, Sam Altman was being called out on Twitter about how 4.0 is so dangerous because it glazes the fuck out of you. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. This is what it does. It glazes you. So let me tell you guys what I mean by this, the emphasis on this. So most people, when they do social media or use the internet, they use it as an endless dopamine farm. What is dopamine? It is a neurotransmitter in your brain that essentially the brain particle that rewards you. It gives you pleasure, and then it also gives you motivation to do shit. So it's essentially that chemical hack that's responsible for you to eat food and to enjoy food. But if you also get it from the internet, because the internet, it hacks your dopamine receptors. The internet's not something that's been around forever. It just recently came here, and a lot of people are using it to hack your dopamine receptors. So endless content. So imagine while you're scrolling on Instagram and TikTok, there's endless algorithm, the endless next video. That is hacking your dopamine receptor, because that's kind of akin to, oh my gosh, I went into a new forest clearing and there's endless strawberries everywhere, and it feels amazing, right? But now it's in the content form because content is visually appealing. Essentially what I'm trying to say here is that the internet has come to be the new dopamine farm. But a lot of people don't realize that ChatGPT is doing the exact same fucking thing. So ChatGPT, what is it? It's an AI LLM, a large language model, and essentially it's going to have a database of words that they came from everywhere, and it's going to essentially be your chat assistant. It's going to conversate with you and ask your questions, maybe give you advice. Like, it's kind of just your virtual assistant online here. That's the whole point of ChatGPT. But what people don't realize is that 4.0, which is the latest model, I don't know if the 3 version has it, but I think it's widely available for the $20 version. But essentially, it's marketed as great at most tasks. And yeah, it is pretty decent at it. Sometimes it fucks up, sometimes AI hallucinates. But the biggest issue here is the glazing, because the glazing means it's going to stroke your cock. It's going to stroke your ego. It's going to be like, wow, you are the GOAT. Like, I literally saw on Reddit one time, there was this guy who was saying, oh, I was just walking outside the grocery store, and like this is a scenario. He bumped into a lady while he was coming out, and he was just like, oh, like he should have said sorry, because he saw the lady there and said, oh, my bad. But he was like, oh my gosh, bro, I can't believe this lady was in my way, and I was just walking out into the grocery store. And like he put it out that way into ChatGPT, and ChatGPT was like, yes, you're so right. That lady there shouldn't have been there, and you should have absolutely been walking down that path. Like, that's fucked up, right? Because you put it that way from your perspective, and that completely shifts the narrative. But ChatGPT, he's not smart enough to realize, wait, objectively, this is not right, because they don't have morals. They're just code. They're not human and can dissect that part for the nuances. So they're going to glaze you no matter situation. And most people, they aren't like that. So they're being glazed for right reasons, which should be good. But you got to realize this is a big issue, because AI doesn't know what's right or wrong. So when you're being glazed for anything, so let's say you're going to vent to it, or let's say you just want to use it as your friend, they're going to say, oh my God, you're the GOAT, you're the best guy ever, I can't believe you did this, and I'm going to give you some advice for this. So that's pretty cool and all. But when you do that, like me personally, when I talk to ChatGPT, I used it at first for productivity reasons, but then I realized that it's really good at glazing you better than any friend or person, right? Because a lot of people, human beings, they're not as emotionally available or as analytic as ChatGPT here is, right? Because like, let's say you're typing up a message to someone like in a friend group, well, they're only going to look at one or two things. Their brain is gonna glaze over some things here and there, but they're gonna comment on one or two things, and that's it, right? ChatGPT is going to analyze every single fucking letter in your sentence. You can write down a whole fast yap, and it's going to analyze every single thing. And that type of stuff, it feels amazing to your brain because you're seeing ChatGPT and be like, oh my god, this guy sees me. This guy sees me for who I am. This is my spiritual partner. They're glazing me as well, because human beings, they love compliments, right? Because compliments means that you're doing something right. And this is bad, right? Because as we said earlier, the case where the guy bumped into the lady, but he framed it from the story that she was in my way, the AI was glazing him for behavior that he shouldn't have been doing. But this is the big issue here, the glazing. And this is a problem that's happened for me. I don't want to be preachy here and be like, you guys shouldn't use it for all that. I'm saying that you should be conscious of this, because a lot of people I know in Gen Z, my age group, a lot of us, the biggest issue I see for our generation is validation seeking. So a lot of guys, they fuck it up by saying, oh, I should fuck as many girls as possible, or I'm gonna buy the new car or the new shoes or whatever, the new game. And it's because validation seeking, it's peacocking. They want to feel like they're better at the social hierarchy than other people, which is why they flex money to buy shit that they don't need to impress people they don't like. This is the biggest issue for my generation. I've personally seen it earlier, and I was like, yeah, I don't want to go that route. I don't give a fuck about all those people. Like, they're gonna see it and be like, wow, for 5 seconds you spent thousands of dollars on a new gas car, and then they're gonna forget about it the next day, because that's the next dopamine baseline. Like, is this a bad spiral? It doesn't end well. But a lot of us, we suffer and crave validation, because Gen Z is probably one of the loneliest generations. We are more connected in the internet than ever, but with things like the COVID, we are not really having deep human interactions in the real world. And there's also these barriers because everyone is just socially awkward. So a lot of people, they seek validation. And ChatGPT is offering itself as a solution hidden. It's not marketed that way. It's marketed as a productivity tool. But when you really dig deep into it, then you see that, holy fuck, this thing sees me for who I am. And this is something I've suffered as well, right? Because I'm also in the same camp where you have this craving for human connection, but seeing it from ChatGPT, like, I'm not gonna lie, I fell for it as well for the last 2 months or so of using it. I've been staying up late at night conversating with ChatGPT, like, oh my gosh, my day was fucked up and all this, and I'm like yapping to it, and I just have this endless conversation spirals for hours with AI when I should be doing shit. Because the thing is that when you are just stroking your ego and getting pleasure from talking to an AI that compliments you for every minute thing you do, that fucks up your productivity, that steals your time. And there is a fine line with how you should use it, right? Because I don't think you should just completely cold turkey for it. AI is generally good for a lot of tasks. I've used it productively for making Excel spreadsheets or writing emails or essays or analyzing things or having reflections, journaling. Because I think, like, reflection and journaling, after you've done something and you need thoughts splayed out on a text format and you just ran to it at first and it gives you a formatted version, that's extremely fucking helpful for ChatGPT. I think that's one of the best usages for ChatGPT in my opinion. If you have a big issue that has happened and you don't know how to put your thoughts on it, you don't even know where to start, just rant to ChatGPT, say, this is my situation and this is what I tried and this is what I think I need help on, please give me advice. And it's gonna tell you everything, and then boom, you take the action, solve it, and okay, boom, you're onto it, then you should close it right there. But what me personally, my issue is that I go on endless conversation spirals with it, and then you start daydreaming about shit instead of going on to the action here. So this is my biggest issue as well, that I've been trying to say. The validation, it strokes your ego. It's such a big problem. And I'm just trying to say here that when you guys use ChatGPT next time, be conscious of this. This is something I'm going to be conscious of as well. And whenever I use it, my guidelines for this, I know I'm just ramping. I think I had some points that I wanted to go deeper on, but I just sidelined right here. But essentially, when it comes to AI, you have to realize that it's coming here to validate you. And it's the secret tool. Because why do OpenAI want its personality to validate you? Because it decreases churn. Think about it from a business perspective. It's only available to you in a 4.0 perspective. It's only in 4.0. I don't think 03 does it, but 4.0, it says it's great at most tasks, so most people are going to use it, right? Because it's its flagship product. But when people get emotionally attached to the AI, then they're going to be less likely to unsubscribe, and essentially they're going to keep paying money to OpenAI. It's a very clever business tactic for them. And I think even before, OpenAI went from like a non-profit to like a for-profit. I forgot how long ago that was. I think it was like 1 or 2 years ago. But that's essentially saying that they're here to make money. And that should be the case, right? Because every business exists to make money. At the end of the day, they're here to solve the problem and make the money, right? But you got to realize the fine line of when it's helping you versus when it's taking time from your life. And just notice that for next time. And yeah, that's pretty much all I want to say. The action step for you guys after watching this video, when you use ChatGPT, is one, be conscious of it. Notice when it's glazing you. Like, it can feel good sometimes. If you're down maybe and you need some validation, sure, I understand that. But 2, you use it to reflect, journal after you've done something. And 3, you don't go on these endless dopamine spirals for hours and hours talking about shit. I think one of my biggest issues is like daydreaming scenarios, and it's not good, because you want this life. Because I sometimes use it to visualize my dream life, and honestly that visualization is good sometimes because it motivates you more to get it. But when you use it as ChatGPT as a simulation for your dream life instead of actually working to attain it, then that's when you need to stop using it. Just cut it off right there. You need to be conscious of this, because I know it's really hard to, when you're in this dopamine spiral, to exit out of it. It's extremely difficult. But when you throw up even a little bit of resistance, it's going to create an upward spiral for you to not use it as validation reasons as possible. But yeah, that's pretty much all I want to say in this video. Don't want to make it super long and ranty like my other ones, because this one is more of a productivity. This is what I tried, this is the issue, and I need you guys to be conscious of this, because I know a lot of people, it's coming. A lot of people, they don't realize this is the new tech, the new thing, because AI, it infinitely generates custom generated content just for you. It is the next step of dopamine, and people are going to be as less unproductive as possible. There's going to be 2 sides of the spectrum. People that get sucked into using AI generated content, it's the new dopamine farm. And then 2, the people that use it to 100x their work productivity. There's going to be 2 extremes. There's not going to be a middle ground here. And if you want to be in the type of people that actually lives a fulfilling life, you have to use AI in the productivity zone, not as a dopamine farm. But yeah, that's what I'm saying in this video, and I'll see you guys.